Okay, so, well, good morning, everybody, whoever's here right now. We are going to continue on with, oh, that's not yours. We are going to continue on with the buying a used vehicle. We're on page 21. We're doing example 2. So page 21, example 2. It says here, Jacob finds a used car from a private seller. Okay, now I gotta make sure that I understand that one and underline that. A used car from a private seller. It's actually on Kijiji, advertised on Kijiji, and pays the seller $6,500 for the car. When Jacob goes to Autopack to insure the car, the agent tells him that the book value is $6,850. Okay, so question A, state the amount of money that Jacob will pay the seller. The seller will get $6,500. Okay, so they asked for how much is the car? $6,500. Letter B, calculate the amount of PST that will be charged. I'm gonna go back in here and say, wrong page. So when we're buying a used car, we're only paying the PST, which is 7%, but 7% on the value that is greater. So it's either the book value or the purchase price, whichever is greater. So you look at this one here, the book value is $6,850. So this one is greater. Since, I'll write it down, since the book value is greater than the purchase price, we will use the book value for PST calculation. Okay, so this is the explanation, right? This is the explanation. We have to pay PST, but we have to look which is the value that we're gonna use. Well, they want the greater. Which one is the greater one? The purchase price or the book value?
Book value.
Okay, so book value is greater. So we're gonna go PST. How much is a PST?
7%.
Yeah, so PST is 7%. Everything that we're gonna be looking at is Manitoba taxes, so it's 7%. So we're gonna pay the PST, which is 7%, so 7 per 100. That's what 7% means. 7% means 7 per 100 times 6,850. 7 divided by 100 times 6,850 equals to $479.50. $479.50. Okay, so now before we get in further, is everybody okay with the word book value? Okay, is there anybody here who's heard of the book value? One person? So two people? Okay. So I wanted to talk about what book value is, because like what is the seller price and what's the book value first. I'll explain it using a paper. So let's say we have a car. Okay, a car or whatever, a vehicle. Doesn't have to be a car, could be a vehicle, could be a truck, a van, anything, right? So a vehicle will have a, what do you think, what they call a book value. And what is a book value? The insurance broker will actually determine the value of the vehicle. So value of vehicle based on make, model. They look at the, you know, the mileage, okay, and they're assessing what it's actually worth, what is the value of something, what that vehicle. So the book value is what the insurance broker think what it is really worth. And the other one is a purchase price. Purchase price. Now the purchase price is most of the time usually different from the book value, because the purchase price is based on what the owner think the value of their car is, right? So this is what the previous owner think the value of the car, right? So there's going to be a difference between the purchase price and the book value, right? Because if let's say if I'm selling a car, it's like, oh, I think I could sell this car for $5,000. Okay, let's say I could advertise it and say I can sell it for $5,000, but because, you know, the make, model of my vehicle, the mileage, all that stuff, the insurance broker would say, I think it's only $4,000, right? So it's not going to be so much different, right? It's not going to be like hundreds and like tens of thousands of dollars difference, but there's going to be a difference between those two. Okay, is that okay? I'll give you an example. My cousin wanted to get rid of their car, so what they did is they gave it to my brother-in-law for free. So what's the purchase price?
Absolutely nothing.
Absolutely zero, right? Because it's free, right? So the purchase price would be zero because it's given for free, but then he would still have to pay the PST on the book value of the car when they register it. Okay, now can you see the difference between the two? Book value, what the insurance is saying, right? What the brokers are saying, how much the value is, and purchase price is what the previous owner is selling it for. Is that pretty clear? Is that okay? So now going back to this one, now they're gonna charge a PSD on whichever is greater. Okay, that's why they said we're gonna go with the greater value. So this is the amount that goes to the seller, and this is the amount that goes to where? Autopack. Autopack is the one that collects the PST. Okay, so how much? We're on letter C now. Determine the total amount of money that Jacob will pay for the car. So he paid for the price of the car, purchase price, plus PST. Purchase price is $6,500 plus the PST is $479.50. Okay, so it's going to be $6,979.50. Okay, so far so good. Is that okay? So this one is a little bit different way of calculating things if we buy it from a dealership, and it's a different calculation if we buy it from a private person, like from a private seller. Okay, now let's take a look at the, let's read this one first. In order to purchase used car in Manitoba, okay, the car must have undergone a provincial safety inspection, often referred to as safety. You might ask if the car has been safetied. This might be paid by the seller or the buyer. The charge for safety inspection is GST only. So if you happen to forget, okay, on the test, on the exam, okay, so it says here, how much is the safety of the vehicle, right? To get it safetied, no PST, but then we have to pay the GST only, okay? So let's take a look at that one. So Phil wants to buy a used car. He takes it for a safety inspection, which costs him $60 plus GST, the tax, one tax. Determine the final cost of the safety inspection after. So let's do the GST. So how much is the GST? How much is the GST? 5%. So 5% per 100 times the cost, $60. So 5%. So 5 divided by 100 times 60 is $3. $3. So how much is the cost for the whole safety thing? $60 plus the GST, $3, so it's $63. $63 altogether. Okay? Is that okay? Any questions there? So finding out, because it's GST only, we can separately calculate it and then add it together. How are you doing? Are you okay? Yeah? We're in the last page. We're going to do example 4 and example 5. As discussed under the tax rates table, so that's this table here that they're talking about, tax rate tables. A lien search, okay, so pronounce it as lien, can be run on a used car that you suspect might still have money owing on the car. So if there's still money owing on the car. Although this is uncommon, a relatively inexpensive search can make sure that there's no lien on the car. If you purchase a car with a lien, okay, still money owing on the car, you might be responsible for paying the creditor that has a claim on the car. Okay, so make sure there's no lien on the car, no outstanding amount of money owing on the car. So let's take a look. So you are interested in purchasing a used car, but you are unsure about the seller. You would like to conduct a lien search, so you visit the property registry on the web page. You can actually type this in and see and find out that the lien search costs $14 if you want a paper copy of the report, or $10 for an electronic version of the report. Okay, so a lien search costs $14 for a paper copy, so it's going to be something that's given to you, or $10 for electronic version. So why do you think it's cheaper for electronic copy of the report than the paper copy. You can
Because with the paper copy, they have to do the research, or show the research and the mathematics. Then you got the old pleasure thing of paying for the stamp.
Yeah, paying for the stamp, paying to get it printed and given to you, right? So it's cheaper in electronic because there are no paper copies given, and the cost to send it to you. Okay, so electronic copy is cheaper because there are no paper copies given out, right? And also the cost of sending it to you. So you opt for an electronic copy. Okay, well, because right now everybody is or not, I wouldn't say everybody, this is more convenient for you, it's cheaper. Okay, so you're probably thinking, I'll go with that one, right? So use a tax rate to determine the cost of the lien search. Okay, well, how much is a lien search? Lien search has no PST and no GST, so how much are we gonna be paying? We're gonna be just paying $10, right? Because no PST and no GST for that one. Now we're gonna put it all together. Okay, so we talked about buying a used car. So Clarence is going to buy a used car from a coworker. Okay, what does that tell you? Buying a used car from a coworker. One tax, yeah. And that is because it's your coworker. We're not buying it from a dealership, we're buying it privately, right? So we are buying privately. He will pay the asking price of $13,200. He wants to perform a lien search and needs to have the car safetied. The book price is $12,000. Calculate the amount that Clarence will pay for the used car. Okay, so his co-worker actually, the value of, yeah, so the co-worker is actually charging more money than the book value, right? Compared to the book value. So let's break it down into parts. So how much is the purchase price? Purchase price is $13,200. This is supposed to be a comma. Okay. Now because we are buying this privately, we have to calculate the PST, and PST is whichever we're going to use, whichever is greater, the book value or purchase price. So let's do the PST. How much is the PST? 7%. So that means 7% over 100 times whichever is greater. Okay. The purchase price is greater, so we have to use the 13,200. Okay, let's calculate that one. Did you get 924 for that one? Yeah. So the purchase price is going to go to the coworker. The PST is going to Autopack. Now there's a lien search of $14. Lien search doesn't have PST or GST, so we're gonna go lien search.
You just had $14.
You're just gonna put $14. Okay, dollars. Now we want the car safetied. It's $75. Okay, so how much does it cost for safety? Safety, we're gonna do the GST. So to do this, it's only the GST, so it's gonna be 5% per 100. $75.
Just $3.75.
Which is $3.75. So this is just the safety GST on that safety. So we also have to do the safety, which is extra $75. Is that okay? So we got the purchase price of $13,200, the PST that's gonna go to Autopack, the lien search, no tax for lien search. The safety has a GST, so we have to calculate the GST, which is $375, and then the safety itself is $75. Good? So the total. I'll just go 13,200 plus 924 plus $14 plus 375 plus 75. Okay, would you verify the answer? Did you get the same amount? 14, the overall total would be $14,216.75. Okay? So that's good. We finished everything, which is fantastic, fantastic. So, what does that mean? What does that mean? There are some practice questions in here. So we already did questions 1 to 3 yesterday, right? So those were assigned yesterday. The ones that we're going to be assigning or working on today is from question 4 all the way to question number 10. Okay? Is that good? Show your work. There's not enough space here for you to show all of your work, so I would encourage you to do it on a separate sheet of paper, right? And so that it's organized, and then when you look back, you know what to study on later on. Okay? It's good.